The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, 8:30 a.m. Tuesday morning, 60 minutes to go until the opening bell. And how about it? We had futures at limit up last night for a change. Quite an acceleration to the downside yesterday. Volatility continuing. Right now, they were limit up. We're off of that level by a bit, but we have all the indices up about 4 to 4.5%. S&Ps right now trading 23.15. You look at the lows we were at yesterday, zooming things in, quite an acceleration on the announcement at 8 a.m. on Monday. Federal Reserve buying assets, basically unlimited quantitative easing, QE. You trade all the way up to a high in the S&Ps yesterday of 2386 before finishing the day at around 2200. You're talking about 180 S&P points. We trade limit up overnight. You can see that we held that level limit up from about 5:30 a.m. until about 7 a.m. this morning. We've trailed off that level just a bit. Jumping over to the charts, we'll start things off with the indices. There's your Dow 30, pretty similar action. Quite the pop yesterday on the Federal Reserve announcement. You trade up to 19,790, and just like that, you give up 1,700 Dow points, and you were back down at 18,112. We're up more than 1,000 Dow points from the lows made intraday yesterday. We were limit up at 19,427. We've backed off almost 200 points from that in the Dow, 19,254. The Dow still up, though, 700 plus points coming into the open. NASDAQ 100, limit up as well, between a similar time frame, call it 6 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. until about 7 a.m. We've given those 73.63. We're currently trading 72.68, so almost 100 NASDAQ 100 points. S&P we covered, trading at 23.12. Crude oil above $25 briefly this morning, currently trading at 23.86. And how about gold? Got to talk about gold. Check out that run from early Monday morning, 1,500. We actually almost made it to 1,700 at about 6:45 a.m. Excuse me, that's $200 in the price of gold in the span of almost 24 hours. Remarkable run for gold. Some of those mining equities running as well. Euro US dollar trading at 108.29. In terms of the headlines that you have out there, of course, all coronavirus related, stimulus related. Checking in on the raw numbers, pulling up the map. Currently this morning, we're approaching 400,000 total infected. That number, 392,000 total deaths, 17,000. Some of the headlines that may be promising, at least providing some hope, is the Italy numbers seem to be calming down a bit. Checking in on those numbers, 63,000, 6,000 deaths, just a horrible mortality rate of almost 10% in Italy. And hopefully that is coming down. The U.S., 46,000 cases, 593 deaths. New York especially hit hard. Some of the stories coming out of New York, hopefully they get things under control there as well. In terms of the headlines out of the UK, so quite the lockdown from Boris last night. I was reading about the headlines. There was something in here about gatherings of 2+ people. So people will only be allowed to leave their homes for the following very limited purposes: shopping for basic necessities, as infrequently as possible, 1 form of exercise a day, not 2. Remarkable that that's actually specified, but that's how worried they are over there. Any medical need, of course, to provide care for or to help a vulnerable person, traveling to and from work, but only where it's absolutely necessary. And there was something about gatherings of 2+ people, but the UK really locking things down over there as they make an effort to stem the spread of the coronavirus. The CDC, this is a remarkable story. One of the cruise ships that was out there, The Princess cruise ship cabin. This actually survived for 17 days on the hard surface. So you really want to be aware of those hard surfaces. This is one of the things that's coming to light just recently, how long this virus can stay active. Maybe that's the reason for its rampant spread, especially on something like a cruise ship where everybody's touching every single type of hard surfaces. They're on one ship for a period of weeks on end. But 17 days, pretty remarkable statistic. One of the facts we're going to jump over here to the $2.5 trillion virus bill delays mortgage and car payments. So a lot of hemming and hawing yesterday for Congress. You have House Speaker Pelosi unveiling a $2.5 trillion virus economic stimulus plan in a bid to shape negotiations on a Senate measure. So you have the Senate battling yesterday, right? The Senate trying to pass a procedural vote. Didn't happen. Democrats and Republicans are arguing about what they want in that bill exactly. Democrats say that it's a handout with no strings attached to corporations, doesn't really stick up for the workers. And Republicans are arguing that what Democrats want is too stringent. Politics, unfortunately, no matter what you think, politics getting in the way of things getting passed. The market not liking that yesterday, falling out of bed. So you have Pelosi in the House passing a bill trying to shape the negotiations going on in the Senate to keep things in queue. So $1,400 bill, pretty remarkable. It would force lenders to grant a temporary reprieve from mortgage and car payments and credit card bills. It would order the Federal Reserve to provide loan services with liquidity to allow borrowers to stop paying their mortgages for up to a year. Public housing residents would get a temporary reprieve. Student loan borrowers would have $10,000 of debt forgiven. Negative consumer credit reporting would be halted. Foreclosures and evictions would be banned. Now, I mean, that's some promising stuff. No matter what you think about politics, folks, that is the stuff. And hopefully that's in, both in terms of corners, and they're just knick-knacking on the corners of what they want. But a pause in all those types of negative impacts, as long as you're facing a hardship, right? This is just, everybody doesn't get to write off their bills for a period of year. But if you really pause things to that degree, nobody's getting evicted, nobody's going to have their credit ruined, nobody's going to have their credit cards closed or their house taken back from them, and hopefully things get back to normal. Because if you can come back and not be underwater, swamped by debt and late payments, et cetera, if this carries 3 to 6 months, hopefully that's the type of return that the market will just jump back immediately. Other news stories out there. You have China lifting the lockdown on Wuhan City. Remarkable that I don't think a lot of people would realize that Hubei province said Tuesday travel restrictions on Wuhan City will be lifted in 2 weeks. They've been locked down since January 23rd. I really want to put things in context here about the timeline that this may take to flatten the curve, as China seems to have done, at least, if you're believing what's coming out of there. But it seems like that may be the case. They're just lifting the travel restrictions on the one city that was basically the beginning of the epidemic. And we're talking about 2 months after they put it on, and they're going to last. And it's 2 weeks from right now. So that is 2.5 months that they locked down this city. And I bring it up because, not to get back into politics, but we had the president yesterday talking about 14 days is basically it. And then we may have to march the economy back to work with only those highest of risk, not maybe self-quarantine or social distancing. I don't see how that plays out, folks, and we'll see how that happens. But keep your eye on the type of lockdowns. Italy extending their lockdown, even though they may be turning the corner a bit. You're talking about 2 weeks if we're still peaking, and hopefully those numbers are not. But if we are, I imagine, we just, the more we do now and the quicker we do it, I mean, if everybody just stayed in their place for 2 weeks, this would all be over, 2 to 3 weeks. So hopefully if we have some severe social distancing, get it out of the way now, because if we just let it drag, it's going to be a tough deal that just continues. Stay tuned, folks. Markets in positive territory. 40 minutes to go until the open. We'll be right back.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the tax opportunity zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you'd like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190. The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets in positive territory. Dow futures up about 4.2%, 776 points. S&P futures up 4.1%, trading at 92.50. It's remarkable how far we've come in a month. You almost have to recoil how you look at the market, right? In my head, we were at about 30,000 Dow. We were at 3,400 on the S&Ps. So 100 points at the beginning of this run in the S&Ps. That was about a 3% move. You're trading at 3,400, 34 points representing 1%. So a 100-point move in the S&P, about a 3% move. Dow at 30,000. So, a 1,000-point move was about 3.3% in the Dow. Well, a 1,000-point move in the Dow would now be more than 5%. And for every 23 points right now in the S&P, that's 1%. So you're looking at 100 points is more like 4.2 to 4.3%. And we're still getting those moves. That's what's remarkable. I woke up this morning. You had the S&Ps. They were up at about 100-plus points. And guess what? That was limit up because 23 points is 1% as this market just continues the volatility. With that in mind, let's check over to the VIX this morning. VIX got some action yesterday, actually to the downside, which is remarkable when you consider the move we made. Markets accelerating to negative price, but still the VIX closing it out at about 55.73. That's what we're trading at right now, 55.73 as we look for that open. I'm guessing this is an erroneous spike at 36.24. Other headlines out there. How about Bitcoin with some volatility? Cryptocurrency value rises over $14 billion in 24 hours as Bitcoin rallies 10%. So Bitcoin had fallen out of bed with the market, but the volatility is back, up 10% from 24 hours, 6,500 and change. Other digital coins including Ethereum, XRP also higher. The market cap or entire value of the crypto market rose over 14 billion Singapore, so that's a combined 182 billion. Remarkable, it just comes to mind. We looked up on the program with Tom yesterday, the market cap of a company like Disney, about 150 billion, Netflix, about 150 billion. So would you rather own every single cryptocurrency in the world right now, or own Disney, or own a company like Netflix? I'm not sure which one, but cornering the entire crypto market, I imagine that's going to be worth some money as well in the future. Pulling up that chart, though, Bitcoin trading at about 66.40. You see the rise yesterday. That market, 8 a.m. on the Fed news, trades from 5,800 to 6,600 by 9 a.m. A 1 hour move. Actually made it up last night to as high as 68.85, backing off a bit. But to see it, I mean, we haven't even gotten back to where we were at Friday morning. Talk about some volatility from 6,900 to 5,700, back to 66.40 so far this morning. Other news there. How about those treasury yields? And as you're seeing this, you're seeing the headlines at the top of my screen. So you have Japan's prime minister says agreement reached to postpone the 2020 Olympics. I'm glad they finally came out with that. Not sure how those Olympics would have played out in any capacity. Who from a variety of countries, when airlines are shut down, is going to travel to Japan for this type of event, let alone you were hearing stories about the athletes themselves. You can't go to rinks and train and be training. So even if they take place, is it going to be this, tainted version of the Olympics where nobody can even train right now, especially in the same capacity that they're used to for something as remarkable as the Olympics? So it looks to postpone those. Treasury yields rising as investors hold out for that stimulus bill. This talks about at 3 a.m., 10-year Treasury about 0.82%. I pulled it up here. We're sitting just above that level right now, but 0.845. Checking out where the yield has been. Zooming in a bit, we were as low yesterday at about 0.7%. So you see things rising a bit, 0.84%. Checking out how notes are trading with that in mind, ZN. There's your action backing off a bit, the 138.18 correlating to when we were yielding 0.7% in the 10-year, backing off a bit at 137.17. Jumping around to some of the stocks that had some good moves yesterday. How about the Canada stocks continuing today? Canopy Growth trading higher by about 5% yesterday. Spiked to 13.54, now at 13.20. One of the companies that caught my eye this morning, check out that action in Target. Closed at 96.69. Some volatility yesterday. Target really hasn't kept up with the likes of Walmart or even Amazon. I imagine they could be doing some good online business right now. There's no reason why they aren't. And you got a spike to 106 last night. This is a 5-minute chart. Not sure. That seems to be a legitimate bar. Still going to open up about $4 on Target. Walmart shares closed at 114, going to open at about 117.46. Amazon almost made it to $2,000 pre-market. You see the action. We were up there with a tick of about 1981. You were at 1996 pre-market on Friday, 1942 for Amazon. Still, in context, check out Amazon holding up relatively well. Back to just where we were on January 28th, that high of 21.85 from February 11th, almost correlating to the highs in the S&P. Companies like Apple, not faring quite as well, still kind of in the wraps for Apple. Remarkable that we closed yesterday $100 below where we were trading at. And that high, I mean, check out where, just going back to February 12th, we're March 24th. February 12th, we were $100 higher than we were now. Remarkable. Microsoft shares holding up okay, 135, going to open at about 141 for Microsoft. You're talking about a $50 haircut from 190 now to 141. Netflix shares, we mentioned those, holding up very well as they look to get more action for signups for their streaming. We're up at 393.52 on March 3rd. You dipped below 300, almost $100, and guess what? We're going to open at 370, right back up to this level, just that quick for a company like Netflix. And that's what's kind of surprising for a company like Disney. No recoil whatsoever. We're going to open at $91, so that's up $6 on an $85 stock, as the volatility down here is pretty remarkable. But Disney dealing with some pain from the parks, dealing with pain from the movie theaters, dealing with pain from owning ESPN, which has no sports programming. But their long-term growth is going to be really focused, and putting this on even 20-year. I mean, you're back to, what are we talking about here? June of 14, and you imagine they are going to be defined by Disney Plus streaming service along with their movies, but movie theaters are going to open back up, folks. You look at a horizon of 3 to 5 years, a company like Disney, with everything they have, owning the rights to Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, let alone Star Wars, Marvel, Fox, 20th Century Fox, The Simpsons, everything that comes with that. You could call them the content king in the future as they look to battle with Netflix. I imagine they're going to get a lot of signups for their streaming service that they may not have gotten was this not going on. Jumping back to other headlines going on out there. California, it's tough headlines that are coming out from these governors, and of course they're the people who are most responsible for their citizens. Cuomo in New York, talking about dire situations could come, and even if they don't come, it's their job to make sure they are prepared. So if it's a worst-case scenario, they better be preparing for a worst-case scenario. California is going to need an additional 50,000 hospital beds to respond to the virus. Governor Newsom talking about the hospital system alone will provide an additional 30,000 beds through its surge plan. States also acquired 3 hospitals that will provide an additional 3,000 beds. California will seek to acquire the remaining 17,000 from outside the state. It's going to be tough, as every state maybe is dealing with this. Getting it from other states, a tough deal there for sure. And checking out in terms of the volatility, Robinhood really suffering some problems when this volatility first began. You had Robinhood down for 2 consecutive days, I believe, at one point, then down another day at another point as the volatility. Tough situation. You have money tied up. You want to exit it. You have money cash on hand. You want to get into the trade, and you can't. So they're going to try and make that right at least and make that go away. We'll see how they handle that. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. If you head on over to the front page of TFNN.com, you will see the Tiger's Den open house going on right now. You click that button, head on over to the Tiger's Den. You can subscribe for a month, pay absolutely nothing. You get to try it out, 30-day membership to the Tiger's Den as we have this open house going on. All you do is hit subscribe, you choose your month, and enter the promo code OPEN for open house, OPEN. Add that code. There's the $39 that gets deducted, so you pay nothing for 30 days. Try it out. It's just that easy. You can sign up right now. You can be in there by the opening bell with all the Tigers and Tigresses waiting for that market open. And with that in mind, checking things out. We just got a little bit pop. All the markets back at limit up. Dow, 19,433. You see the pop in the NASDAQ, 73.51. I guess we're 8 points away, possibly, from limit up in the NASDAQ. Yes, we are. So not quite a NASDAQ 100. S&Ps, limit up, we are there, 2333.62. Remarkable, as we just got a pop. We're going to sit there. We got 35 minutes to go until the opening bell, and markets at limit up as we await. Checking out some of the other action this morning, checking out the market and jumping over to silver. Putting this on, how about that chart? I mean, I just happen to have it up. That's going back 20 years, $49. Check out that bar in context. I mean, look at these runs that we got when we were in terms of, that's 2011. That's a remarkable run, the highs there. But putting this morning for silver, quite a run in correlating. Gold's traded from 1,500 to 1,700. Silver's traded from $12.50 up to $14. Pretty remarkable. That's $1.50 on the price of silver when you were trading at $12.50 as of yesterday morning. Remarkable. Stay tuned, folks. We got our man Larry Pesavento coming up live with Trade What You See at 9 o'clock. I'll be back at 10 o'clock with Tom. Of course, Fast Market by TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim from 11 to 12. Basil Chapman at noon. Steve Rhodes at 1. Dave White at 2. Tom O'Brien live from 3 till 4. It's remarkable how many days we get to wait for that opening bell when futures were limit. People didn't even understand the rules of limit before this. Now they understand them upside down. It's happening every day. Stay tuned, folks. Larry Pesavento coming up right now. We'll be right back.